So you roll the dice, something happens, ambassador dies. Oh, no, well, we'll blame the video. They send people out all over television for 2 weeks blaming the video, and the media dutifully covers this as though the video's responsible. And they follow along while the producer of the video is arrested at 1:30 in the morning, dragged out of his home in California, dragged off to interrogation and jail on a parole violation, on a bank fraud charge, but everybody knew. And then after that happens, Obama goes and takes a victory lap at the UN, and an ad run in Pakistan. We're not going to put up with this kind of blasphemy. We're not going to tolerate the prophet being made fun of, even though we have a First Amendment. We're going to put people in jail who do this. And we want the world to see that we'll put the people in jail. We want the Muslim world especially to see that we will jail American citizens who make fun of the prophet, blah, 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 blah. But then the State Department yesterday said none of it was true. There was no intel citing the video. There was no protest. It was not it was not spontaneous. It was pre-planned. It was premeditated. It was an Al-Qaeda terror attack. And so now Mrs. Clinton and President Obama with an emergency meeting in the White House this afternoon to try to come up with the next phase of the cover-up. Let's keep on with the audio sound bites. Let's go back September 26th on the Today Show. Ann Curry, who had been fired, somehow brought back to interview the Libyan president. And she said to the Libyan president, what is your evidence that it was a pre-planned act of terror? See, this guy was out there saying it wasn't a video. The video didn't cause this. And the media was outraged. What do you know? You're just the president of Libya. Our president says that it was a video and that it was just a spontaneous protest, and you say it's not? How do you know?
Number one is choosing the date, 11th of September. It has all the significance. If we take the facts about the way it was executed, there is enough proof that it is a pre-planned act of terrorism.
This was a pre-planned attack, not in reaction to a controversial movie?
Yes, I have no doubt about this.
Do you think the movie had anything to do with this attack on the consulate?
It has nothing to do with this attack.
It had nothing to do with the attack. This is back on September 26th. And Curry did her best, carry the water for the regime, but the Libyan president wouldn't play ball. Libyan president had to blame it on the video. By the way, the Heritage Foundation on their Foundry page, we're going to link to that. I just told Coco to put the Heritage Foundation web link up. This is a great timeline, an incriminating timeline, the Obama administration and Libya. And it puts all this in context in a timeline. And when you see it this way, the folly of this administration trying to blame this on anything other than Al-Qaeda is instantly obvious. So if you have a chance, go to rushlimbaugh.com and find the link to the Heritage Foundry page for this timeline. Now, last night and this morning, we have a montage. Diane Sawyer, recycling. She was livid. They are all, the media, outraged Obama would jeopardize his campaign that they've worked so hard on. They've carried the water everywhere. They have built Romney up to be this horrible, rotten guy who hates half the country, sat idly by while a guy's wife with cancer died, as a felon. They've done everything the regime asked. They have carried the water. And now they are outraged Obama lied to them in the middle of campaign and basically exposing them.
This is an incredible breaking news tonight. So any explanation for the change in the story?
There was no protest. That contradicts what we've heard from other corners of the administration, even days after the attack. How can that be?
This needs to be an investigation into the facts, and what it's come to is a debate on politics.
In the middle of a presidential election, makes the White House look confused and the State Department look confused. That's a problem.
We are in the midst of a presidential campaign right now, and this administration told the American people that this was a protest that went bad, and that it was opportunistic, and that these militiamen came in and took advantage. We learned last night there was no protest. This was a planned attack.
As if you did it. You people, Ms. O'Donnell, do you really believe from the get-go that a video was responsible? How closed-minded or ignorant do you people have to be? You really see, I think they do. I think liberals are liberals, and they do believe that something like this video could be responsible, just like the Dutch cartoons. They believe it. They fall for it. Now, you might say, well, why are they seemingly turning on Obama? Because look, they look at themselves as partners. They're all on the same team. They are equals. He's a liberal. He just happens to be the president, but they're all liberals. They just happen to be journalists, and they're liberals with bylines. He's a liberal president, but they're all on the same team, and he has exposed them. He sent them out to lie for him when he knew it was a lie, and they're taking that personally. Think of it as your best friend hanging you out to dry. Somebody you've done everything for. Somebody that you have loved and adored and looked up to and thought was the end-all to everything. The embodiment of perfection. And your existence carries so much importance. Your election wiping away 200 years of evil, discrimination, slavery, and all of that. And you're in on it with him. You made it possible. You got him elected as much as he did. And he openly lies to you. Openly lies to you on your own network, in your own home, and then corrupts you and incorporates you in the lie. Maybe he doesn't love us. Maybe he's using us just like he's using everybody else. Then the big bird thing hits, and they get mad at that because they think that's small ball. Big bird, give me a break. You get your butt kicked in a debate, and your reaction to it and your response is Big Bird, and you're the only guy that's saving Big Bird and Elmo. It's embarrassing. So the honeymoon is over. Now, there's not going to be a divorce. They're not going to abandon the guy, but the honeymoon's over. And don't doubt me on that. Here on CBS this morning, today, we have the senior correspondent, John Miller, and they're talking about the State Department saying that there was no protest and that there was no video. It had nothing to do with it. Co-host Anthony Mason. So what do you expect the State Department to say in response to this report that they were being told there was a problem at the embassy before the attack?
The State Department is going to do two things. One is they're going to give the first detailed account of what really happened on the ground. I believe their main point is going to be security can go up or down based on the threat situation, but we've never seen an event like this since the storming of the U.S. Embassy in Iran in 1979.
Whoa, we've never seen an event like this since Tehran, 1979. We've never seen anything like this since Jimmy Carter. So now we're closing the loop. We got the Jimmy Carter second term in the economy, and we got the Jimmy Carter second term in foreign policy. And these guys have been used. Obama didn't include them in the lie. Obama lied to them, too, when they thought they were equals, co-equals on the same team with the same objective. And now they find out they're not that special. At least not as special as they thought. That they're taken for granted. It's just assumed that they'll carry the water in whatever way necessary. And so now there's a little, don't doubt me on this, a little introspection going on at certain levels of the drive-by media. Think of Bill Clinton's cabinet after Monica. Drudge runs the story. Clinton and Lewinsky getting Lewinsky's in the Oval Office. Clinton goes out, calls the cabinet in. I want to tell you something. I go out. I'm going to tell the country in just a second. I never once had sex with that woman. Is she making all this up? I can't believe anybody would think I'm even capable of doing something like this. I am president of the United States. To think that this is possible. And right after that, Madam Albright led the cabinet out the driveway at the White House, stood up for Bill Clinton. He wouldn't do anything like this. This is a rogue. This is right-wing conspiracy, whatever they chalked it up to. Then they found out Clinton lied to him. They didn't abandon him, but there was a little gloss off the relationship, a little of the rose off the bloom, or vice versa. And if this administration will lie about something as important as the death of an American ambassador and 3 other Americans, why should we doubt that they might lie about the unemployment rate?